Hey, recording your throws at the craps table can improve your game immensely. If you're wondering why I'm saying this, please stay tuned. My name is Joe and this is my Craps Master journey. Let's make it yours too. Recording your dice rolls at the craps table is extremely important. And coming in at number one is it allows you to know where you should be in your strategy during that time in the roll. So whether you're in the come out roll, whether you're in the beginning roll phase, the mid roll phase, or even that monster roll phase. Click on the link on the top right side of the screen here, and that'll bring you to my video on the 4 different phases of the dice roll. Coming in at number 2 is recording your dice rolls at the table. It allows you to figure out the average dice roll for that table. So is it a hot table? Is it a cold table? Do you need to adjust your strategy so that way it is more conducive to what the table is doing? And hey, it also gives you the opportunity to decide, do I even have the craps scales needed in my arsenal in order to adjust for that table average roll? We're coming in at number 3 now, and that would be actually looking at each shooter individually, and it helps you determine what the average roll is for that shooter. So let's say you go around the table a couple different times and a shooter throws maybe 3 times one time, 10 times another time, 8 times another time. So you could probably count on like a 7 or 8 roll for that shooter. So, you know, the more times that we go around a table, you can start developing that average roll per shooter, and then you can adjust your strategy according to that shooter, because not every shooter is the same. At number 4, and this is the cool part, tracking the dice rolls at the craps table gives you a lot of different flexibilities. There's a lot of different options that you can do. You can stay really simple with just recording the number of throws at the table at that particular moment, or you can go in a lot more detail and you can track a lot of different things. Things such as the number of box hits that are hit. So in other words, the number of 4s, 5s, 6s, 8s, 9s, and 10s that are hit. You can also track the number of horn numbers or field numbers that are rolled. So that way you can, again, like I said, adjust your strategy so that way you can make it more profitable for you. And again, certain shooters will shoot certain numbers. They have their signature numbers that you can look for. You can also, you know, see what the table is doing. If the table's throwing a lot of horn numbers, you might want to throw, you know, a bet on your horns. If you're doing a lot of field numbers, you know, that might be something that you might want to consider putting into your strategy. But hey, if you're not hitting any of those and it's all box numbers, then that would be one thing that you can count down to adjust your strategy. You know, sky's the limit. You know, track those rolls so you can see what's going on. You can also track the number of 7 outs that are thrown, the number of points that are thrown. If you're betting on the dark side or using your don't pass bet, you can see how many times you've been knocked off of that. If you do a way better on the come out, you know, you can track to see how many times you're actually losing that way better, how many times you're actually profiting from it if they throw a 7 during that come out roll. I just wanted to mention, you know, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, make sure that you do, because every little bit does help. You know, I am on a craps master journey, and I would love to make this part of your journey as well. So if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. Every little bit, like I said, helps. And, you know, the more we can get the word out, the more we can spread the message, the better it is going to be for all of us at the casino. So hopefully we will learn the tools needed to make it a very profitable journey there. Now, when we talk about where we're actually tracking these dice rolls, there's a couple of different options that you have. And the first option would be in the chip rack that's right in front of you. So you have like 2 to 4 trays usually in front of you at the table, and you can utilize those however you want. And we'll get into a video in the future, probably later this week, talking about, you know, tracking how many chips you actually have in the rail. So you're gonna have to kind of, you know, spread out the chip rail a little bit, so you can do a little bit of that, as well as recording the throws that are going on. So chip rail is one option that you could use. Another option you could use is actually a pen and paper. Some people will bring a pen and paper to the table and they'll actually record each individual roll or throw that a shooter is doing. Or you can do a combination of both. to me, it's personally easier to track the number of rolls and what's going on with the box numbers and all that type of stuff using chips. And I'll show you strategies in the future going on, forward on how to do that. But then, hey, when that shooter's done, you can actually take that pen and paper and record the number of chips that we had used on the table. And that way you can keep a record of each individual shooter. And what you're going to find is that certain shooters will be at the table at certain times. And if you keep on going back to the same casino, the same table, you're going to start seeing the same people. And you're going to start getting an idea of how they're rolling, what type of shooter they are, if they're having a good day or bad day, all that type of stuff. And that's all by recording those rolls. Again, you can use your chips, you can use paper, or you can use a combination of both. And I recommend a combination of both. But again, like I said, we'll get into those strategy videos in a little bit in the future. Other options you can use is your phone or your computer. Now, I'm saying this with a caveat. Do not use your phone. Do not use your computer at the casino, because that is very illegal, kind of. They do not want you to be using computers or phones or any of that type of stuff at the casino. In fact, when you're at the craps table and they see you take your phone out, they ask you to step away. Hey, I don't want to see any phones out at the table. So why do I say you use your phone or your computer is because if you use your chips to track things and you write it all down on paper, when you get home, record the stuff down. Put it into your computer, put it on an Excel spreadsheet, so that way you get an average of what's going on, at past visits, so you can hopefully use that information to make better judgments going forward. And again, like I said, the computer, the phone, you can use apps on there to record dice rolls. Record all that stuff after you leave the casino, so that way it is not considered cheating. It is not considered to be illegal, and that way you'll have a better idea of what's going on at the casino. A big question comes up is, when should I be recording those throws? And my answer is basically after every single shot and after every single 7 out. And what I mean by this, after each shot, is when the shooter rolls the dice, and you're doing a chip management strategy, make sure you do whatever you need to do with those chips so you can keep track of what's going on. But then when that 7 out comes along, then you can actually take that pen and paper, you can actually record it down on there, so that way you have an accurate record going forward. Another option, and that's, first of all, that would be if you're at the casino. But if you're at home practicing, you can practice your strategies that you're going to actually bring into the casino and get it down pat so you're comfortable. So when you get to the excitement of the table and all the energy and all the noise and all the distraction and all that stuff, recording those throws is not going to be a big deal for you. But when you're at home practicing, you have a couple different options. You can just do it on paper. You can enter it into your computer. You can, record your throws and then just, write everything down afterwards by watching the video when you record it. So you have a lot of different options when it comes to being at home. And I'll give you a couple strategies that you can use going forward, again, like I said, in the casino, but also I'll give you a couple strategies that you can use at home, things that I've found that people use that actually work out really good, so you can see what kind of numbers you're hitting, whether it be box numbers, horn numbers. You can, see if certain dice sets produce certain numbers. And maybe in the future, and I don't know if I'm going to be doing this, but I might teach you how I built my own dice tracker app. And it's something that I use. It's on an Excel program, and it took me a long time to write the code to record the dice rolls, but it's really, really cool, because if I use a certain dice set, I can throw it out there and I can record what every other possible dice set would have thrown if it would have been that same exact throw. So that might be an extra thing going forward in the future. Maybe I can have you guys sign up for it and we can go along weekly and set up our own dice tracker app. So stay tuned. That might be in the works. So like I said, going forward, I'm going to have at least 8 different strategies that I'm going to roll out, and I'm going to show you guys, how you can actually record the throws at the casino, how you can actually record your throws at home and practice. And then, after I show these videos, if there's any ideas that you guys have, make sure you leave in the comments below. Things that you actually do at the casino, things that you actually do at home when you're practicing, whether it be at a table at home or on a phone app or whatever you have going on. But use these strategies that I have, make them your own, and record and document and comment on how you've changed your strategy, so that way we can all benefit going forward. In closing here, the one thing that's very, very important is to record your throws at the table when you're at the casino. That is one of our essential strategies that you should get down in order to become a successful craps player. And you need to figure out what works best for you. Not every strategy that I'm going to show you is all-inclusive. Not every strategy that I show you is going to be what works best for you. It's not going to be what you like the most. So it's going to be up to you to take whatever strategy works better for you, but also to maybe combine, the strategies and come up with some other version of how it works for you, maybe a hybrid version of some sorts. Again, like I mentioned, make sure that you leave in the comments what you come up with, what you like, even what you don't like, so that way we all can work together and make this our journey to become better recording throws at the table. And the biggest thing here is practice, 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 practice. If you don't practice this stuff before you get to the casino, you're not going to be able to do it smoothly or comfortably at the table. And that's going to throw you off your game. It's going to not help you remain focused on what you need to do, whether it be, placing certain bets or playing the strategy that you want to play, or watching the other shooters, or even just having fun and interacting with people around you. The more you practice at home, the more comfortable you are going to be using that at the casino, and the more that essential strategy of recording your throws is going to play a part in helping you become a better craps player. Now, like I said, this is only one of the 5 essentials in order to become a better craps player, a more successful craps player. If you want to learn what the other 4 strategies are that you can use at the craps table, click on that link in the top right side corner, and that'll bring you to a video that I just produced not too long ago about the 5 essentials that you need to get down to become a better craps player. Hey, my name is Joe, and this is my Craps Master Journey. Let's make it yours too.